Good afternoon, Abhijit. Hello, Abhijit.
Hello.
Are you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So,
Sir, actually, means there is a slight issue of the timing, sir, as the class started for industrial robotics and automation is still going on, sir.
okay, okay,
So
okay,
I'll just put an intimation on that class that we have a class right now, and
okay.
then I can
No
I'll
problem.
get back.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. We'll wait for 5-10 minutes. No problem. Right.
Okay, thank you.
So Mahek, try to do the setup. If maybe we'll late by some 5 minutes or so. Right.
Okay, sir.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the class of Cyber Physical System. And today we'll continue with the demonstration of Raspberry Pi. So last time we have discussed how to connect the DHT11 with Raspberry Pi. So we'll continue that. Now we are going to connect the DHT11 K-type thermocouple and RTD sensors. So today we'll have a demonstration of it. Right. So Mahek, you can start the demo, right?
Sure. Hello everyone. So in the last session, we have demonstrated that DH11 sensor can be connected with the Raspberry Pi. I just want to show you how the Python works, because recently we are working on Arduino, which works on embedded C, C and C sharp. So we transited from C sharp to embed Python, and in Python, what we used to do is we just import the library, then we define the pin numbers, then we define the sensor, and then we define the functions. But in the Python, we will have to create a separate library. Then we will have to show that the library is placed in a different folder, and then you can actually work on that. So basically, as you can see, this is a tip scenario of any library that exists in Raspberry Pi. So this TST11.py is the main function. That is actually a library from where we can fetch the data. As I clicked on, it opened in Honey Python, which I told you that we will be using throughout the sensing part. So as you can see, in the DHT library, which we have downloaded from binary, they have typically imported time and Raspberry Pi, and then there is a definition of DHT11. All the functions are defined over there. So it is pretty clear that every functions are defined somewhere else, then we can use the library. And it is also important that the library that which we want to use and the code which we are running should be in the same. I'll tell you. This is my DHT11.py, which is library, and then these are the samples such as DHT11 example.py, DHT11 trials. So these are my trial modules that which I have created. So if I want to use any functions of DHT11.py, all the libraries and all the codes should be in one folder, which we will be doing for the combination of all the sensors all together. If I want to use Max6675 library, then I will have to download it and create one folder for Max6 over here, and then I can create actually. So I will just go through this DHT11 function, which we have done in the last session, so that it will be a quick refresh for you all. Okay, so basically we have imported our through which we will be using our sensing pins, imported DHT11 library and imported the time. Then we have shown over here, there are some, if there are any false warnings, then you should give us the warning, and there is a pin mode that which we using GPIO.BCM, which is the initial. If you remember in the DHT11.Arduino, in Arduino, we used to define DHT11.begin. So this is the same GPIO.set mode, which will start the DHT sensor, and then we'll be using instance function to define DHT11. We will be using DHT11 at DHT11 pin 2. Pin 2 of Raspberry Pi will be in this session for the connection of DHT11 with Raspberry Pi. And then while true instance will give us the reading. So we are printing result equals to instance but read. We are reading the data in a function called result, and then if the result is valid, so basically in the Python, if whatever we want to do, just define as it is. So here we have defined result, and then we are defining that if result is valid, then print it. So basically what happens that if any data is available, then we are printing it. So we are defining as if now if result is valid, then we are printing it. Print temperature, result temperature, then humidity. So this temperature percentage D is actually in the percentage, and result or temperature variable. We are fetching result or temperature from DHT11 library. In this library, there will be a function called DHT11.temperature. And then all the functions will be over there. And we are fetching the same from there. So we are fetching result or temperature from DHT11.py, result.humidity also from DHT11.py. And from our side, we are just defining humidity and temperature, which are fixed text that will appear every time. And here time.sleep in Arduino part, we used to define delay. In Python, we have to define time.sleep, sleep time, which is basically a delay. So we are defining for 1 second. Also in the Arduino, we used to define in microseconds, whereas in Python, we are defining in seconds only. So now I'll be connecting. I'll just stop the screen share and I'll show you the basic connection. First, let me show you pin number 2. Okay. So this is our GPIO pins of Raspberry Pi. I will be connecting VCC pin to 5-volt power, which is pin number 2 and 4. I will be using pin number 4. Then ground pin, which is pin number 6, shown over there. Then I'll be using GPIO2, which is pin number 3, GPIO2 SDA, and connected with pin number 3. So basically, there are only this session in this DHT11 that we want to connect. So it is pretty simple. This is DHT. Using red pin to connect. sensing pin or data pin to connect it with pin number 2. Blue pin to connect with using VCC blue pin to connect the 5-volt power with the VCC of Raspberry Pi. Then ground to ground using red. Pins are connected. And then I have to just click this run button to compile the code. If the code is perfectly fine and connection is right, then it will run. Okay, so it is showing this temperature. This is 33 and humidity is relatively high, 70%. So it is current temperature, perfectly fine. Also, we have downloaded it from THT11 binary of which we have shown over. Also, Google is not official uh, search engine for the Raspberry Pi. DuckDuckGo is open source software which Raspberry Pi has in default mode. So we use DuckDuckGo in Raspberry Pi. So basically, when we go inside this GitHub.binary, I'll be showing there will be a 2 files that we can download it from there. It is taking longer than expected because I'm screen sharing VNC through my Raspberry Pi to my PC. So it takes a longer when we use VNC viewer. Then I will just download this zip file. That is a pretty small file. We'll open it in a folder. There is this zip file over there. We'll extract it. This one is our main part. I'll open it. So basically, there will be 2 files as I told you. One is DHT11, which is main library, and other one is DHT11 example.py. So whenever we are going to do any work or a function, then we'll have in this library 2 Python files. One will be library, another one will be the function file. So we'll do the same with the next pattern. We will try to connect Net6675 in this manner. We'll create one folder, then incorporate one library inside it, and then we'll try to make one function file over there. So here it goes, and I'll show you how to do it on your own also. Just search on 6 next 6675 which was very fun. This one will be Raspbian A-type thermocouple will be a important one. We'll try to connect it using that same manner. So they are using Python 3 and Mac6675 to connect it with Mac6675 to Raspberry Pi 4. And here they have shown a pin diagram. We will not be using the same thing. We will try to change it. So basically, we will have to do type of works before starting out on this stream. So uh, we'll have to install sudo pip3 install.gpio. Basically, every Raspberry Pi has GPIOs, so we'll not have to put it there. And as I told you in the previous session, that if we are going to perform any task in Raspberry Pi, the terminal will be very essential for us, and we will have to do every task from here. Uh, this is the administrator part. If there is any obstacles which present inside the code, then we can clear out only from over here. In the previous session, there was an error that I was not able to execute a file inside a folder. It was mainly because it was an administrative operated file. If I wanted to use that file, I will have to operate it from terminal only, from graphical user interface. I cannot use that file. So we'll be doing that. We'll be using terminal. Just right click and paste it sudo pip3 install rpi.gpio. Okay, so it says that requirement already satisfied. As I told you, all the library, all the Pi have this rpi.gpio files, but as we have it has mentioned that there should be a rpi.gpio. So if any chance it is not present, then we can just install it. Then we will be installing adafruit.gpio because it uses Adafruit company's sensor pin. Okay, so in my Pi, it is already satisfied. If you will use it on sudo pip install, then it may get downloaded and it will be written over that this requirement has been downloaded or installed. So initially, this was the requirement that we'll have to just use this GPIO. Then we will have to create a folder called Mac6675, and we will have to put this file over there. This will be our library basically. So there is a predefined library that we will be using. Pi, there is a folder called next667 file. I'll just rename it. And I'll try to create one new folder called next6675 for our purposes. So I'm creating one new folder, next6675. I'll go inside it, and then I'll open this Thony Python. I'll create a new file. I'll just close this DHT file as we are done with that demo. So I'll stop over there because the current temperature and humidity was 20 degrees Celsius and humidity 63%. So the function is running pretty fine. And I will go to that file. We'll just copy this whole file over there. I will copy it. And paste it over here. So this whole file is been copied, and I will just create it, save it in the next6675 folder. So basically, we will have to just save it using next6675.py. Basically, this I'll show you in what I've done. We'll be saving it for next667. And only Python will automatically save it using Python files, which is shown over there. Okay, and I will show. Okay. So Python is a library dependent, and when the names are not matching, it will not able to. So in a newer version of this file, which will be a function file, we'll have to define that there is a file called next6675 around this folder from which you will have to use the data. So they have this GPIO and Adafruit GPIO, which earlier we have installed. Then there will be this function that low card frequency. Also, there are these functions from which we're using in a float. Also, if you want to get the data in Celsius, Kelvin, it will be defined over there. So basically, we are defining all the necessity requirement of next6675, and then we will create a newer file that will be a function file. So first, we have created a library, and then we are creating a function file. We'll copy this one. And we'll put it over there. So these are the coded lines, and we'll remove it out. Try to make it clean. So we'll do it very clean. Also, it is library keep thermocouples. Right now, we'll be just selecting only one thermocouple. So we will not define any of two second thermocouples pins over the also time slip is 1 second, and the print will be the size of next. See, from X6675, it is fetching the data. You can see there is a function called X6675 CLK, CS, and DO pins. So those pins are from X6675 modules, and it is being fetched from X6675.py, which we have defined over here. And these are the GPI. As you can see, it is using a serial peripheral interface to communicate with Raspberry Pi. Okay. I'll just remove the connection of DHT, and we'll try to see that which pins can be used for X6675. As you can see, they have defined this CLK as 24, CS as 4, and DO as 25. We'll try to see is it nearby or far away. So as you can see, 24 number of pins is 18th number pin shown over there, which is pretty fine. Ninth pin in the line, then 4 number pin, which is 7th in the left column of fourth from left column. Those both of the pins are pretty far away, and 24 and 25 pretty nearby. But I don't see that we'll have to use this type of distance. I will be using GPIO 3 and GPIO 4, which is pin number 3, 5, and 7 respectively in the left column. So I'll use for the VCC 5-volt power, ground pin number 6, CK is pin number CS, and DO or SO pin is GPIO 4 and pin number 7. So we'll define it over the we'll define it CLK as pin number 2, CS as 3, and DO as pin number 4. And then I will just start the camera. As you can see, this is our X6675 module. I have connected it with connecting using jumper wires. And using orange pin to connect it with SCK, yellow to CS, SCK is basically an SO. SO is DO, which is in library. As we have defined, CLK is pin number 2, which is second, connecting it with then orange one, second one, third one, sorry. And green is DO, pin number 4. we have connected this digital pin with Raspberry Pi. I will be using black wire for the ground that use right pin. Red wire for the VCC pin. If the connection is fine, then we should get the screen. And I'll have to save it first. We'll save it called main.py. Then we'll run. Okay, sensor is showing NaN. There are some issues with the number of pins. Connection with voltage pin is fine. Let me just recheck the connection. TDO pin is in the two, that is connected pin SO pin with pin number 4. Nine. Just remove the connection. Okay, there is an error. As you can see, there was an error of connection. I had connected to VCC with ground and ground with the VCC. So the data was on NAND, not available. Now I have connected it with VCC with world power and ground with, so basically it turned out your missed temperature 84.5. So it is here. I think it should work according to our standard. And yes, so So basically, this is how a typical a flow of definition of any library. First, we'll have to create a library to define all the functions related to the same chip. Then we will have to create a function file which we want to use, such as uh, a, a chip can fetch 7 data, but we are not concerned with those 7 data. So just this file called make or something. Then we'll just find that particular parameter only. So first we will have create this make667 file that will define all those 7 parameters, and then you will have to create this type of main.py that will create only parameters that you are focusing on. I'll be doing a third type of showcase, which will be a direct. You can actually the first type we took from GitHub. The second type we actually try to develop on our own. If you are in a good command over Python, then you can just develop your own file, which I showed you in second type. Then there is this GitHub download directly. I have also shown in how to download it from over there, like this binary that you can directly download, which we'll be using for Max 31865, which is a chip to connect with a RTT type thermocouple, RTD. We'll be using Max 31865. First, we'll have to just download the Adafruit library. Hold on. This one is official. I will open in another tab from which you can actually find all the data regarding to this Max 31865 chip. Our area of focus is this Arduino library. We'll just download it. So it will be downloaded something like that. Adafruit circuit Python, and I'll just extract it. The folder is shown over here. Adafruit circuit Python main. So Adafruit is a bigger company. Whenever we are downloading from any open source or any individual freelancer, then there will be licenses available to that. So for which we can use this function. So all those parameters that we have defined in Max6675.py or Python, and they have also given an example over there. So we'll be using this simple test.py. So basically, they have defined all those parameters. Also, there is I have all this which will be a clean file that is an out of all the unnecessary parts. As you can see, there are assets over the example. This one is I know, which is for Arduino. You will have to specify going to download Raspberry, which you can find it from. So we are focusing on this. So basically, it has. We'll have to show you the chip Max3865. So as you can see, Max3865 chip, there are 6 pins that are being very essentials, which is VIN, then ground, then CL, then SD, then SDI, and then CS. So what they have done is they have just simply defined every pins, and then we'll have to just define this CS pin, and they have defined CLK pin to SCLK pin of Raspberry Pi, SDO pin to MISO pin of Raspberry Pi, and SDI pin with the MOSI pin. I'll show you in this photo which we have for GPIO. So these 6 pins are essential to connect this Max3165 chip to Raspberry Pi, and out of those chips, 2 voltage are in. Adafruit has defined 3 pins to return, and then we will have to just which is beneficial for us. So I'll just show you from where we can connect. Yeah. So GPIO 11 is SCLK pin. We will be connecting CLK pin with this SCLK pin. Then GPIO 9 is MISO pin. We will be connecting SDO pin with MISO. Then SDI, which is GPIO 10, pin number 19 in this photo. Will be connecting SDI pin with GRZ pin, and then there is CS pin. We will be connecting GPIO 6, which is 29. That is in the bottom 6. So yeah, this will be the flow. And I'll just try to connect it. I'll use red wire for voltage, black wire for the ground. Orange CLK, yellow SDI, SDO, green SDI. Again, the black wire for CSP. As you can see, GPA5 is the 6th from right panel. So I'll just try to connect it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So here is our pin number, GPA number 05, which is 6 from the bottom part of the GPA panel. Then SCLK, which is 9th, bottom side. Then mesopin, green one is Mosi. So it goes in line. So we had no issues to connect. And this ground pin, which is short from the starting of this GPF, and this voltage, which is second from the starting. It is pretty clear. If this was fine, then we can actually run the code. The previous code, which was Max6675, was running. Okay. So the temperature is perfectly fine, 32.576, which is nearby to DHT11, 33 degrees Celsius, and it is showing in 3 decimal, which I have mentioned over there. We can go from 3 to 5. We have to stop, and we can start it. So it show into 5 decimal places, 60963. It will depend on your accuracy as well. And we can actually change the time period, time step to first, and then run it again. So it is coming at 2 seconds. From here, actually, you can change this D5. If you want to connect multiple sensor with this pins, then you will have to just create CS1, D5, then CS2, something like that. and then you will have to just connect it with. We will not have to define every CLK pin. We will not have to define MOSI and USO pins or SDO pins of mixed 5 chip. You will have to just define the CS pins only, and you can actually connect it with this Max 165 chip. So it is pretty easy. From Adafruit, you can actually learn the Python and Circuit Python. They have given every kind of demo. So basically, the code which I have run is from over here only. So I have just defined this import board digital ratio, which is shown over this part. And then we are just printing, which is over there. So basically, I have combined these two codes only. I have imported the library, import board and pin number D. Also, you can use the predefined codes available over there, which is shown over here. You can just copy it and use it according to our. It is pretty same, but with the little differences such as you can change these wires such as 2, 3, or 4. You can actually change the type. Such RTD comes generally in two types such as PT100 and PT1000. So according to your adjustability, you can connect it, and basically it has downloaded this Adafruit.max265 chip. So we'll have to save this file over there only. So we are down saving in Max265 mega library inside, and I will just name it trial 2, and by default of .py, as every Python file has the extension of .py. .py. And then I will just stop the previous code and try to run this code. This code runs pretty fine. As you can see, the data is 32.610. So yeah, all three sensors are now connected. So in the next session, I think we will go with ThingSpeak and ThingSpeak, the internet cloud service, and we try to combine these sensors all together, and we will send it to ThingSpeak. So yes, you can do it, something like that. For the part, you get all the majority of content from Adafruit. If you want to learn something for Max 165, everything has been given on this Max 165 for PT100, and you will get everything. See, they have started from overview. You can actually see the wiring part, Arduino code. In the previous session, I have shown you. And in this session, we are using Python. So, and as you can see, they have also defined these pins over there. And these advantages and CS pins to as many sensors that we are using. We can actually connect, say, 4, 5, or every type of sensor, such as 30, if there are 30 GPIO pins available in any particular given model of microcontroller or single board computer, then you can actually connect 30 GPIO pins using this type of sensor. So serial peripheral interface is pretty beneficial for all of us that we want to connect multiple of sensor in one microcontroller. And you will have to just download this sudo pip3 install if you directly want to connect it. We have done this exercise in the DHT. You just paste this URL and it will do something like that. So I have already downloaded this Adafruit library. So it shows that this requirement is been satisfied. So, but if you haven't downloaded, then it will download. And keep it simple that if you're using any codes, it should be inside the library functions only. If you're using it outside the library folder, then it will not show a correct result and it will show a lot of errors. And it will mess up your codes as well. So yeah.
Hello, Mahek?
Sorry, I was disconnected. Network issue. So we are done with today's session. We have actually connected DHT11, MEX 6675, and MEX 31865. In the next session, we'll just connect these three to ThinkSpeak, and we'll try to combine it all together and send it to ThinkSpeak as well. Okay.
So Mahek, actually what we are going to do, so share what I suggest. Actually we'll prepare a one entire readme kind of file in which all the steps are written and along with all the code which we are using into the Raspberry Pi, right, that we are going to share with everyone, right? So Mahek, you should prepare that one.
Sure. I'll try to do that. I'll
Yeah.
also do
And,
SOP how to connect with Arduino as well as Raspberry Pi.
All the code for that, right?
Sure. Yes, sir. Sure. Sir.
Okay. So again, if you are having any concern or doubt, you can go through the video or you can share the question or concern through our group or you can send an email to me, right? So I will try to share the README file, how to work with the Raspberry Pi along with all the code. So probably you don't need to go an individual link to download the code and everything, right? Just will highlight that where we are supposed to make a change to activate your own code, right? So thank you everyone for attending the session. I think we are already running by more time, right? So we have already taken few minutes more. So thank you everyone for joining the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.